What's up, nerds? Phoenix from Achieve here with the first ever Achieve GTA Online Buyer's Guide. See, I bought the game because I'd never bought a GTA before, full disclosure, and I thought this new one looked pretty cool. The online stuff, all that looked great. Problem is, I'm just not generally a murdering type. I don't go around just killing things for the sake of killing things. So I would find myself latched on like these races. I wouldn't race against anybody because I suck, but I thought it was cool to just kind of race around these really cool tracks and these really fleshed out vehicles for hours on end. And I recently thought, wouldn't it be cool if somebody, me, were to put together a series of like races or ways to compare the cars numbers to numbers? Because currently it's just these lines that are not super clear, to be honest with you, Rockstar. Love you though. So anyway, I put together these 3 races, and if you have any ideas for more or anything I'm missing, I'm more than happy to create or try out or do whatever. But for this first one, I was going to go with my tried and true, my motorcycle of choice, at least to start, the PEGASSI Bati 801. It's super cheap, and it works really well, and I've loved the way it handles. But I don't know how good it compares to like some of my other motorcycles, so I figured this was a good one to start with, and then from there, if you guys like this and want to see more of this, then I can compare other motorcycles and other vehicles in general to this and just sort of create an actual buyer's guide of what you should really buy and what you should not waste your money on. So without further ado, the first race I came up with is a very natural choice. It's the drag race. It's right about a mile, a little over a mile, just sort of a very straightforward, as straight as a track as you can possibly find in this game without building one, because I don't know how to build one. Like build the cunning stunt stuff, and it's just straightforward, go as quick as you can. Now I realize that there's some concerns about like if I get the boost one time or if I don't get the boost one time, so I figured just for this and for future reference, my game plan will always be hold down the right trigger to start from the kickoff. That way there's no boost and it just gets going as quick as it can go. And in the 3 trials I took on the drag race, the body performed with the following results: 40 seconds, or 40 seconds, 107 sub-seconds, milliseconds, whatever it is, 39,307, and 39,407, for an average performance over the 1 mile track of 39,48. I don't know how good that is, to be honest with you. This is the only vehicle I've done, but I think it's a good starting point. Next up, I thought, well, I need to figure out how to, do acceleration and maneuvering through traffic. Because that's something you do a lot in GTA. It's just maneuvering through traffic, either between or physically through traffic. And the motorcycles cause this to be an interesting challenge because, if you wreck, you fall off, and that causes a restart. So it just sort of makes it an even playing field because the bigger cars can't weave through necessarily, but they won't kick you out if you run into one. So for this one, the track is 2 miles just because I needed to go a little bit further, because I thought this route looked really cool to run. Basically, you're just going to go up this highway, down, making sure you stay in the oncoming traffic. Go down that, through the tunnel, which is a whole thing in itself. But if you go through that, you get the time. Again, same rules as boost. I'm not trying to get the boost or anything else. It's just going to be a forced automatic start, and then I can brake as I feel I need to, but I'll avoid doing it as much as possible. The results that the body got for this one were 2:15:02, 2 minutes, 15 seconds, 1:31:56. Had a really good run that time. And then 2:25:683. Not a great finish. But this averages out to 2:04:22. 2 minutes, 4 seconds, 22 parts of a second. Not a terrible score, I don't think. Although that low time and that high time really kind of make it iffy. So we'll see how that goes. And finally, I thought, well, what's the other thing you do? Off-roading. There's a lot of off-roading, both uphill and downhill. That goes first up a hill and around all these curves and everything else. It's really annoying to try and take all the time. And then go back down the hill through a narrow passageway. It's just a whole thing. It's an up and a down, and it's an around, and requires the vehicle to go and stop and brake and have good traction and everything else. Yeah, it's a fun little track. I recommend playing it if you're going to try any of these silly things. The times I got for this one were 2:41:08, 3:04:721, and 249.50 or 530. Not terrible. At least there's two consistent numbers and they're on the low end. But that 304 pushed the total up to an average of 251.58. So, with these three numbers in mind, and that price though, you can look at it however you like. Until I have another vehicle to compare it against. If you like this, please let me know, and I'll happily do the Hakachu, because that's like the other bike I have. I have a couple of bikes, but that's like the other, like, I will drive this bike otherwise. And the stats look a little better, but I don't know how they compare, so I'd love to find out. If you like this, let me know. I'll do more. If you have any ideas for other time trials I should do, things I didn't consider, again, happy to try them out. But for this odd little video on an odd little channel, it's been Phoenix from Achieve, and thanks for watching.